Welcome back. You're watching IGN Live. Today we got a brand new kick-ass game, Blade and Soul Heroes. It's a lot to take in. I've watched a lot of it and it looks really, really good. Here to break it down is Nico Coutant, and Andrew Gant. Hey guys, welcome to IGN Live.
Thank you.
I didn't realize there was other people here. Hi everybody. You can't see them, they're off camera. So we have a bunch of brand new gameplay to check out. So we can go ahead and roll that, and then I'm going to pick your brains about everything we've watched, because I can't make, it looks great, but I can't really make too much of a sense of it. So let's start with a game, like what kind of game is this? What are people going to be playing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the game name is Blade and Soul Heroes. It is a brand new free-to-play collectible action MMORPG. It's a team-based game where you have to basically form your teams of 5 characters, 5 heroes, and then you're gonna do some action combat in the field, but there is also a dual combat system where you can also do turn-based combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first question I had when watching this is, okay, so we see the player character, but like, is everybody else, are they NPCs that you pick and they're fighting with you, or are they other players?
Yeah, so like we said, this is a team-based game. So you see down at the bottom of the screen, you have 5 different heroes. This is your team that you're managing. You're collecting these heroes throughout the world, and once you get to your team management screen, you can pick the 5 that you want. And those kind of act as your skills in the game. So each hero has its specialty. You can have one to heal, to buff, you can have a tank, you can have a ranged hero. So the gameplay gets really intricate, you know? This is not a shallow game. It's all about managing that team and having fun with that.
So they are all being controlled by you.
Character you see on screen is your team leader.
So are you hot swapping between them, or are you giving them commands, or are they just auto doing, like, do you get to choose, like, go on offense or be on defense?
It's a little bit of everything. It's much like other tag team-based fighting games where you can select a hero to come in, do an attack, jump back out. You can switch the main hero that you want to be. It's all about the strategy. You know, Blade and Soul series is all about combat. So we love intricate combat, so combat's very important to us. So that's why we think this game's really unique, because we're bringing a bunch of new types of combat into one MMO.
We're gonna see it in just a few minutes here, but like there seems to be a lot of characters in the game. Is this something where it's like, as people play, characters are constantly being added?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we're going to be launching with 40 different characters. What's interesting is that for those of you who have played the Blade and Soul IP before, you're going to find characters from the original game, but we've also added brand new characters that you've never seen before. Also, the heroes are very varied in the sense that you're going to get, you can see like human characters, but there's also some monsters, some bosses, so you can play really different kind of characters.
On top of characters, are you constantly are you guys releasing new weapons, stuff like that?
Right, yeah. Like he mentioned, the really cool thing about the characters is that we're all over the place with a unique variety. So you can really mix and match popular villains from the series, field bosses from the series, new original characters. On screen right now is Poran, one of the most famous characters in the Blade and Soul series. So it's really cool that you have this eclectic mix of heroes that you can just mix and turn your own strategy from that.
And so when you're building a team composition, are you looking for characters that constantly are building off of each other, and you're seeing people like min-max, all that kind of stuff?
That's exactly the point of the game, actually. It's all about the synergy between your heroes. So you're going to want to change your team pretty often based on your opponents, basically. So you're going to have some monsters and bosses that will be weak to certain attributes. So you're going to want to, have a hero that is stronger to be able to defeat that boss, or do that, special attack that's going to break his shield or whatever. So it's really going to be a synergy between which team members you pick for your team.
How are players getting the new characters as they're unlocked?
Yeah, so you can get new characters from collecting them through in-game events. from, like, for example, right when you join the game, you're going to get a bunch of tickets to get new characters, and you can also purchase them in the shop as well, the ticket vouchers.
Right, because you mentioned the game was free to play, so
Yes.
that's a little bit of the monetization.
Yeah,
in there.
let's get into it. Yeah, for sure.
We saw a little bit of, so we saw it's like an action RPG, but then suddenly it goes turn-based.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's actually the most interesting part of the game, is that we have this dual combat system. So basically, there is a mode in a game where you can go turn-based. So you can see you keep the same team composition, but the skill changed. So you're gonna, have to learn how to play in turn-based differently than you play in real-time action.
So is the game forcing you to be turn-based, or you just, I want to play turn-based now?
Yeah. So the majority of the game is gonna be field-based play. The turn-based is optional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I never have to. Okay, so I can play the entire game non-turn-based
Yes.
if I wanted, but then I can, on the flip side, play the entire game turn-based if I wanted.
No.
Oh, no.
The turn-based is more of a add-on thing to help you progress faster, basically.
Okay. So tell me about this. Is PvP, I believe we're seeing. What's the PvP like in the game?
Yeah.
Do you want to handle the PvP? You're the big PvP guy. I can tell you, I'll start it. The PvP is in the turn-based portion of the game.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't have real-time PvP. Maybe that's something in the future. But right now, the PvP is dedicated to turn-based gameplay. So it's all about that team-building experience, getting your team set up for your PvP matches. And then there's also rankings. Do you want to talk about how your rankings went when we were
Sure.
testing the game?
Yeah, and then you were talking about the business model, so that's kind of related to. When we started playing the game, we couldn't pay because we were playing on the Korean version. So we were completely free to play. I played a lot for like about a month, and because I was so much into the game, I was able to climb the PvP ladder pretty high. Like at the end of the 30 days, I was like in the top 10 of the PvP on the
So
server.
you're just gonna trounce everyone the moment the game goes live. It's pretty rude, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Outside of combat, is this like a full open world that you can explore? Like, what are you doing in between battles?
Yeah, so the Blade and Soul series it's open world, but in zones.
Okay.
So each zone has its own sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
For example, the towns, you're going to see a lot more people in. The areas outside the town, basically, it's an MMO with broken down zones.
Okay.
So it's not like fully true open world that you're going to see in
Sure.
other types of games. It's kind of zone-based MMO. So still lots of players around each zone, but
So is this, okay, I think, not to say the G word, but
Okay.
like when I see it, I think a little bit of like Genshin Impact and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Is this different? Because this is an actual MMO where Genshin isn't.
Yes.
So is this, you're going to be exploring the open world and you're just going to see other players out there? Perfect.
Yeah.
What are we doing in the open world besides fighting?
Yeah, so in the open world, there's tons of activities going on. You have a lot of missions, daily missions, there's raids. So you could just be out doing a story-based mission or a regular daily. All of a sudden, an alert pops up. You see a bunch of players all running in a line towards a certain part. You see on your map, a big boss comes. So we are really popular with field bosses in raids. So you can join raids in the middle of that.
Does it alert you like, hey, there's a boss spawning,
Right.
and you click the map and
Right.
there he is?
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm missing on?
I mean, something that doesn't really show on the trailer here is that there is a huge component on the story of the game. Like, the story is really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've played the original Blade and Soul, it's a prequel, so there is some characters that are going to be related, and you're going to be able to learn more about the backstory of all the famous characters of the game. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
Okay. Before I let you guys go, one more. When do we get to play it?
September.
September.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be launching on Steam, Purple, that's our launcher, and then also mobile. So Apple and Android.
And the game will be cross-play, so you can
Oh,
play
okay.
with your friends on PC, mobile.
Can I go from my phone to my computer?
Absolutely, you can.
Yes.
All there.
Yeah, very
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about it. It's cross-play and cross-platform.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Nico. Thank you, Andrew. You guys were awesome. I now know so much about the game I've been writing about for the past week, and it's always fun to experience. Yeah, the game looks great. Make sure to check it out in September and stick around for more IGN Live right after this.